Well, how about it, y'all? This is Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms, and welcome back to another video. We're going to be starting a brand new project today. We're going to be working on a new pig pen up here kind of beside our old pen. I'm about to show you that in a second. A spot that we kept them a little bit last year, kind of where the goats like to hang out. And we're going to show you kind of a new way that we're going to be trying to raise pigs. I'm sorry if you hear a bunch of wind in the background. It's pretty windy today. It feels really good though. The humidity's kind of dropped, the wind's blowing. Feels pretty good to be August, and I'm ready for some cooler weather, that's for sure. But let's take a look at my old pig pen real quick. I'm gonna show you a perfect example of how not to raise pigs, and something that I will never do again. Learn from it, and we're gonna be trying some new ways. So it's all bushy and you can't really tell what's going on, but this is my old pig pen. There's a fence that goes straight up right through here, another one that goes straight down through there, and then it kind of stops on the other side of that dead tree, comes across, comes down a little bit. I had water set up over here, had a catch pen, this little area right here to raise little pigs in, and it worked for probably the first year. I had about 10 pigs in here. The next year I put 15 in here. We got a lot of rain that winter, and it was a nightmare. It's just a muddy mess. The pigs, I literally put pallets in this pen right here so the pigs could get up out of the mud. It was just a nightmare, and we ended up selling the pigs pretty early and butchering them early just so we could get them out of this. I couldn't stand to watch it. And then last year I started to raise pigs kind of in the woods right here that you can see beside me. We're going to talk about that in a second. But it was just a nightmare. The pigs, over 2 years, they killed this tree, just rooting it up. Muddy mess. This one right here is dead as well. It's just not a good situation. This is kind of pretty sloped right here, and all the mud and the manure ran down, and you can't tell, but that's a 3-foot piece of tin. That mud and manure came down this hill and just sat here about a foot and a half deep. Like I said, it's just not a good situation, and we will never do this again. It was a valuable lesson, and we're about to start trying a new way. So like I said, this is not the way to raise pigs, and I'm kind of embarrassed to show you this, to be honest. It got out of control really quickly. So we will never be using a situation like this to raise pigs ever again. I'm kind of embarrassed to show it. Never really shown it too much on camera. And since we started the YouTube channel, we have not raised pigs like this. And we're not ever going to do it again. I'm actually, not today, not next week, or in the near future, I'm going to be ripping all this out. I'm going to save my chute. I think I'm going to cut it off where I can pick it up with the forklift or the tractor, and we can move the chute around. But other than that, all these catch pens are coming out. The fence up there where we had to cut that tree down where it died, it needs to be repaired, and this is going to turn back into pasture. But before we do all that, we're going to start working on our new pig pen. We're going to be getting pigs in the very, very near future. Actually, I think our next video might have some little piglets in it. I've got a guy down the road that's got a couple that I think we're going to be picking up. It'll be a couple weeks before they need this pen, but we're about to get started. Behind me is an area that I've put the pigs in for the past 2 years. Honestly, the pigs have done more work in clearing this out than the goats have. For a long time before I had the goats in this pasture, we had a fence line coming down the edge of this woods where the horses didn't go into the woods. You know, the goats wasn't even in here yet. So since then, I tore that fence down when we put another fence behind it, and I put the pigs here the past 2 years with my Premier One netting, and they cleared this area out. It's a lot of undesirable trees in here, a lot of Japanese privet, American elm, all kind of elm trees. There's a couple oak trees in here I want to save, but they're all big enough the pigs have not hurt them too bad. But all the undesirables, pretty much, the pigs have already killed off. So this is the area that we're going to concentrate on. And what I plan on doing is we're going to build 5 separate pens in these woods. We're about to break out. I've got a measuring wheel. We're about to measure off the distance from our catch pen over here by our barn right here to basically where we just were, where that loading chute is. We're going to measure the distance all the way across, divide it by 5, and then we're going to have 5 sections right here. The old pig pen, after we get all the stuff ripped out of that, that's gonna make 2 more sections. And then down by the house, we have 2 little areas that we can rotate the pigs on as well. So what the plan is, we're kind of gonna be using a Joel Salatin kind of method of rotating pigs through woods, creating pasture is my goal. I'm hoping that I can set up these small pens, put pigs in them. They're gonna root up a little bit. All these trees that I want out, if they're not dead already, the pigs are gonna help me kill those. I'll cut them down with a chainsaw. And then after we move the pigs along, we're gonna go back and throw grass seed in and hopefully turn this into some pasture. Hopefully be able to utilize it for the goats and the pigs. So let's break out the measuring wheel. Let's see where we're gonna be at. Let's see how big our pens are actually gonna be. I'm hoping, I've kind of measured it out online. So in making these pig pens, we're actually gonna make a somewhat permanent pasture instead of using step-in post and poly wire. Just because the main reason, one of my good friends gave me all these 5-foot T-posts. He works for a big construction company, and they were about to throw away a bunch of old T-posts that they're not using anymore, that they use for silt fencing and all kind of other stuff. So he called me and asked if I wanted them. I said absolutely. So they're 5 foot. By the time we drive them in the ground, they'll be about 4 foot. Will be perfect for our pig fence, which will only be at the most 20 inches tall. So we're going to be using these T-posts with some high tensile wire, and I think it'll work out just fine. I'm about to grab this measuring wheel. We're about to walk the distance across and divide it by 5, and then we'll kind of measure it off, and we're going to put some flags in the ground and kind of show where our pens are actually going to be. Start at 0. We're just going to go all the way across. Watch out, I'm about to take you through some trees. Oh, I'm about to get cut. "136 feet. So by that measurement, our pens are going to be about 27 and a half foot wide and across the front. And then I just measured the distance from here to our back fence, which is about 48 foot. So our pens each are going to be about 1,300 square feet, and there will be 10 pigs in a pen at a time. But they'll be rotated every 5 to 7, 8 days to a new pasture. And while they're in one pen, the rest of the pens are going to be growing grass and recovering. So the pigs aren't going to tear it up too bad, hopefully. This is a system that I want to try out. I need to prove to myself that I can run pigs without tearing up the property before I'll ever be able to convince anybody else to rent their land and run pigs on their property without tearing it up. So that's the main motivation behind this move. I think it's just going to be a healthier way to raise the pigs. They're getting away from the parasite load, just like we do with the goats, moving them away, getting them away from the parasites, the bacteria, all the bad stuff, and keeping them from rooting it up really bad. So now that we know the distance that our pens are going to be, let's grab a couple flags, and we're about to lay this out even more. So they are just pigs. They're not going to really care. Nobody's going to see it but me and all of you. So we're just going to step this off by my feet. I wear a size 11. That's close enough to a whole foot. So we'll just count off 27 paces and put a flag down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 27 and a half. Well, we got all our front posts laid out. They're going to be right at 27 foot apart. We'll probably put one in the center, but that's going to be basically our corner post. I went ahead and laid out the back ones. I don't know if you can see that pink flag through there. So we got the back laid out. I think this is where we're going to hang it up today. We're going to start back on it tomorrow afternoon. So I'll see y'all in just a few seconds, which will be tomorrow afternoon. Well, it is the next afternoon. I just got done with all my chores. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to work on the pig pen anymore in this video. I just got done with a 14-hour work day. We were broke down at work for a long time today, so unfortunately, there's not enough time. I need to get this video out. But we're going to have plenty of content with that pig pen coming up. We're talking about, you know, how we're going to set it up, how we're going to raise these pigs in this system, and seeing how it's going to work. I picked up some wire and some insulators today. So in the upcoming videos, we're going to get started putting some T-posts in the ground, getting some wire stretched, and getting that pig pen cleaned up, that area. There's a lot of limbs that I need to get out of there just so it doesn't ground out the fence. So got plenty of content on that coming. Also, our next video, I believe we're going to have some baby pigs in. I'm supposed to go tomorrow afternoon and get some baby pigs. So be looking forward to that video. It's going to be coming out real soon. Hopefully we like these little pigs. Hopefully they're nice and healthy. We get them back here and they start growing. We're going to be looking for several more pigs in the next couple weeks. I really want to see if I can find 10 to 12 pigs. And hopefully we can grow out some pigs this year to sell whole and half hogs at the processor. That's something that I've been wanting to do for the past several years and just haven't been doing. I've been selling live hogs. So hopefully we can start giving some people in our community the option to buy a whole or half hog, get it cut up however they want. They pick it up at the processor. And eventually I'd love to get into where we're getting the USDA certified so we can start selling some cuts of meats. But that's going to be later on down the road, one step at a time. We're going to try out this system, see if we can raise some pigs this year. So be looking forward to those videos. I really appreciate you hanging out with us. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, and we'll see you on the next one.